Hi everyone, it's Mish here and welcome to my channel. If you're new, thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you come back for more. And if you are returning, thank you so much, my crafty friends and kindred spirits. Today is going to be another page in the Daphne's Diary Gluebook journal. This is something that we started almost 2 years ago now, and every page that you're seeing, there is a tutorial in my playlist of Daphne's Diary on my channel. So there's a lot of interactive pages. I like how things open and close, and I love the pop-ups and whatnot. We did have the first journal, which was this one here, and it became a big hefty thing. We are now on journal 2, which is pretty much the same size as this one, and there's the same amount of signatures, but there's less pages, which makes it a little bit more easier to deal with, and it's just not so bulky. And this one, there's still the interactive bits, but there are quite a few more of the double spreads, which I really love. So today I'm going to be using issue number 2, 2025. It just arrived. Now I'm doing this a couple weeks in advance as I want to get some videos out, as I don't get as much out as I'd like to. So I was distracted there in my thoughts. So I am going to be using number 2, 2025. I've already cut out the front page. I absolutely love this image of this house. I do have a template that is the size of my page. If I can grab it here. And I've been using this ever since I started a couple years. And it just helps me to look at a page that's this big and figure out how I want my layout to go. So I have used that, and I've cut this piece out and trimmed it up so that it will fit my page. And I want to do it right on, I think it'll fit my page. I want to do it right on the, I want that to be my first page of my journal because I love it so much. I thought about cutting the house out, as I often, if you do follow me, know that I'll often put a background paper down first, just from a paper pad or whatnot. But I contemplated that, and I don't think I will cut that out. So that's going to be the focal point. Then, on the next 2 pages, these content pages, I have copied them. Now, you can't copy or use these images to sell because a lot of them the copyrights aren't owned by Daphne's Diary. But occasionally, I do copy for my own personal use, and that's it. And the reason that I did copy these ones is because there was images on the back and the front that I wanted to use, and I didn't want to cut one image out at the expense of another one. All right, so all the images that I'm using for today's spread, I have cut out from those 2 pages. Okay, so here's my copies I'm just going to set aside. And in here are my images that I want to use, except for my saying. Here it is. Here's my saying. So I really loved this, and as soon as I saw it, it just made me happy. You know, all those subconscious memories and things that we have around our home or a cottage, you know, somewhere that we've lived or slept. And this just is so cute. It just reminds me of a little place that I would have loved to have, just a little whimsical house. So that's kind of attracted me to that. The other reason that I kind of thought it would be good on the first page is because it's kind of symbolic of opening up a door and, you know, let the adventure begin of all the pages and places that we could go, you know, in our mind or for real. So that's kind of that background. I cut out, again, everything is from those 2 pages. I've cut out the balloons. because I love the balloons and I thought that that would go well. I've already put them up on dimensionals, and I have just really lightly did a little bit of distressing just to hide the white where I've cut those out. The other thing that you can do is you can take a brush marker of some sort and just gently go around to cover that up. And the reason that I feel that's important is because by doing that, it just kind of helps it blend in, but yet at the same time, it sets it apart from your other images or your background. So I've done that with the balloons, and then I'm thinking that I want those there, but I'm not sure. I've cut out these birds, and I kind of, at first I cut it out like it was a big cloud, but I wanted it to kind of sit in my background and merge a little bit with these birds. To do that better, probably not to distress, or not to put, not to, distress a little bit the edge, which I did do, but I'm okay with that. I just got carried away with all the distressing. And I'm kind of thinking something like that. And then I've got this little girl on the bicycle. Now, she was on the edge of the table of contents, so I thought that she could be coming into the scene there. And that reminds me, I want to use these washi strips to create a little road for her to travel on. So I thought these would be a good, I was looking at this one here, because it's kind of like, there's leaves, but it's kind of like a color gravel in a way. And I was thinking of putting that right down at the bottom as a kind of road that she could be driving on. And I guess you could set it apart even further by doing a little bit of distress on the side of that washi before you put it down, but I did not do that. Now I'm going to save this bit for either another project or something else. Okay, and I just want to cut off this little side here. Like, this just takes me back to when I used to scrapbook when I was a kid. I used to cut images out of magazines and do the same sort of glue book stuff. Okay, so something like maybe this, I guess. And then she's going along that little road, and I've put her up on dimensionals too. I just have this row of stuff. It's not that sticky, but sometimes that's good if you want to reposition stuff. And then I cut out this little flower, and I liked the little ladybird on there. And one trick when you're doing something that has a little stem like that, like I wanted to keep that little stem, is that in all this image, and this image, I just took a glue stick, and before I cut it out, I glued it on to a little bit of, this is just the Michaels 65-pound white cardstock, just to give it a little bit more firmness, to make it a little bit more solid. But yeah, so before I cut out that little stem, I always just take a little bit of Scotch tape and I put it behind the little bit that I want to cut. It just holds it a little bit better so that I don't tear it or rip it, which I usually end up doing that anyway. But so I thought that might look good there. So I'm going to get, I don't think I'm going to put anything behind her. Now, we could have got a little fancy and put a little doily or something. Excuse me, I just had to have a drink of my coffee. But I think she looks good like that. It might on the film look like you can't see her, like she's blending in, but because there's a dimensional there, you can see that she has popped out from the background. So I'm just going to get this off here. Spring has sprung. This week I'm going to have to, so I'm in Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia, and our kind of like spring gardening season, really, the climate has changed somewhat, and Halifax is a little bit milder than, because we're right on the ocean, than like inland Nova Scotia. But probably like by the end of April, I will have my, have to have my pruning done. So I'm going to prune my rose bush back almost to nothing. And if it doesn't survive, then that's fine. I have a rugosa rose, and I just find sometimes it's more trouble than it's worth. Now, does she look like, yeah, she looks like she's going downhill. So, like I said, this foam tape often is forgiving and will allow me to move it. So let's see here. Although, maybe not. Let's see. Let's see. I don't even know where these went. Right there. Okay, so let's get our wheels on the ground. Level. And if it doesn't work out this time, then she could just be going downhill. Okay, I think that's better. Okay, and then I think we'll get our bunch of sparrows. The other day, the sparrows are up in this tree by my house, but there was tons of them on the phone wire, the power wire, whatever you call them, power line. And Chester was in the window here in the craft room. You can see them on this wire here, and he does his chatter to it's like he's chirping and he's making this weird noise with his mouth and stuff. And then they did the thing that they do when they all fly together in that kind of pattern, and they left the telephone, the power line into the tree beside the house here. Oh my gosh, it was a sight. Chester, he was looking overhead at the ceiling, trying to figure out what exactly was happening. God love the little critter. I love him. And if you don't know who Chester is, he's my big orange cat. And if you want to see pictures of Chester, you can check out Mish Crafty on Instagram. I don't really do much with Instagram. It's always on my list to post more on Instagram, but I'm usually too busy. Although it is a goal of mine. Okay, so I didn't put this little stem on a dimensional, but I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, and that makes it look like it is kind of moving up. I really like that effect when you only put a dimensional on part of your image. So I really like how that effect looks. So that's coming together, and then I don't know why I put that on there. So then I just cut out a bunch of, this little guy. So this little guy is a little parachuter, and I kind of thought he might just be coming out of the sky, maybe there, or is he going to land on the roof? Or maybe he's over with these guys, and he's jumped out of the balloon. I'm not going to put him down yet. And then I have a ladybird that's in flight. So I kind of thought we'll put her down here. And then I just have a bunch of butterflies. And we don't have to use all of them if you don't want, but why not? This is a very busy one, but sometimes busy is very nice. Okay, and then that's all. Oh, wait, and then we have, our saying. So our saying is going to be, and so the adventure begins, because now you're entering into the world of the Gluebook journal and all the adventures that we've had so far, and the adventures that you guys and me are going to have coming up. So let's just get I'm going to get these down, and then we'll just do a little bit embellishing. Oops. And I'm only going to put it really in the middle so that the wings, they can lift up a little bit, like they have a bit of dimension themselves. So we're just going to put a little bit in the middle of the butterfly and prop their wings up some. And this one here is a mama and a baby. And they're identical. They're dressed identically. That's something my mom and I never really did. We never sort of dressed in the same outfits. I wouldn't have minded. We had sometimes the same piece of clothing, but it would be a different color or something. My mother always knew what I would like to wear. She always knew my style. Wow. Isn't that awesome? Like, how busy is that? So, right. So then I just grabbed a bunch of my gems. Okay, some of these gems. Oh, and I have, the other thing I have is this Micron 0.1. And what this is good for is if you did want to make, I don't think maybe right here. Excuse my head if it gets in the way. If you did kind of want to outline actually with this, I might want to do this with even finer. So this is a 0.1, and then, but you can get a 0.05, which is even finer, and that might be better. Yeah, and then you can just gently outline, and it just kind of makes your items pop a bit, but you want to go very gently, like so. Right, and then it will just make those little bits, you can't really notice it, but it, like here where I put that line, it makes the house stand out just a wee bit from the background. Okay, so then we have some gems, so I need to get my tweezers, because I was thinking that I was going to put a gem in that purple flower, but I covered that over. What about in there? I think I want to do, I didn't grab a lot of my, do I want that or a flatter one? Kind of thinking flatter. But I don't have the color that I want. One thing I know I want to do is take these rivets. So I just got these at the dollar store. And I think I'll do 3. A line of 3. If I can here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I'm just going to put these ones right here, as in let the adventure begin, ... because there's more to come. So I think that's, we get them in a line here. There we go. So we've got our ... So I like that. And then let's work on these ones, because I'm not convinced. Let's grab some more stuff, because I don't have what I need there. Those are too big. I really have to sort through these in a better way. Kind of like these. These are spellbinders. I got these at a craft store in Windsor, down at my stamping studio. That's the only really other craft store besides Michael's that I have. Oh, I think that'll work. Do we want the big one? No. Do we want... Let's try this one. We can do them in 2 different colors. Yeah, that's nice. So that works for centers, and I don't know if it picks it up on camera, but they're a bit shiny. Oh, and I want to go back to this one here. So, but do I want a big one? Why not? So I'm just going to use this and get it off here without pinging it across the room. Put that in the center there. And if I don't like those ones, I can always take a marker and color it a different color. And I want to get my little favorite. I have a Spellbinders favorite one that I like for those little butterflies. So let's see what else we got here. We got my favorite little butterflies. I'm almost out of that. Oh, here it is. This one here. I like it because it's like faceted more so than the other ones. At least it seems to be. So I'm just going to take this little one here to put on there. Oops. And we can do them in different colors. It's not sticking. I use my tweezers because I find it hard to pick up little items. Okay, so then there's that one for that size. So maybe we'll do it just a wee bit bigger for Mama. Although this is way big. Let's try this one here. I know what's happening. I got some adhesive on my tweezers. I'm doing something else. So I think that looks okay for those ones. And then we'll go maybe just with one of these little rivets. I think the dollar store is still selling these little rivets. And they just come in so handy. They do, they do. So let's put one there. Oh, that's pretty. Let's see how pretty that is. And then let's just put a wee little, just a clear crystal in that guy. And I've got some really small ones here. I don't even know where I got these ones at. But yeah, I'll put this wee little one in there. Like so. Okay, so then we've got our centers in. We have a little center there that we could put this little one. Oops, I knew I was going to ping one of them. That's a problem with these things. As I use the tweezers, and you have to go gentle, or they just ping everywhere. Okay, so I think we've got our centers. We've got our butterflies. Let's spread their wings a little bit. And then the last thing I want to do is just take my Winkostella, if I can find it. And I also have, which I haven't used for a while. Oh, I keep this on my desk. Valentina sent me this, and I am going to do a little mini project of this. I absolutely love this little book. Thank you, Valentina. I keep it right on my desk because I like it so much. Right, metallic. I also have the Nuvo Aqua Writers, which are kind of the same as the Winkostella, only there's different colors. So this Winkostella that I have is just clear. And what these are is like a glitter aqua writer. And I was just thinking that would look really pretty because this copper one is almost the same, color as this roof here. And so what happens is it dries. When the water dries, the glitter that's left behind just makes it a little bit shiny. Now this is beading because this is really highly glossed in impermeable or non-porous, this front cover, because they laminize it, sort of. But that should still dry. And then I can definitely do the butterflies. They'll pick up that glitter for sure. And these are the exact same color. And I'm just going to use some of this little puddle that I already made. Because those are just paper. Now this is paper too. Because this was from the the first page, not the cover. So that'll just be subtle. What about our baskets? Give them a bit of glitter, glitter, bling, bling. All right, anything else? Okay, and then what about, so I've got gold in this color too. And for the gold one, maybe we'll do these baskets right there. I don't know what he's got on his head. Looks like a little bit of a hat. Oh, we can do this little butterfly. Oh, that's pretty. And the same here. Can highlight this guy. On those darker edges, we can put some of this. Wow, that picks that up. And then maybe just some dots through. Oh, the other thing we can do with her basket of flowers is we could put some little gems in her basket. So just, that's wet now with this, but that's going to bead a bit, but it will dry at some point. I just have to be careful not to spread that around. Okay, and then we have Stella, but I think we've used the Nouveau. These are called Aqua Shimmer. I don't even know if you can still get them. And this one is Glitter Gloss. And this one is Midas Touch. And the coppery one that I used was Blush Rosette. But yeah, so I think that's our page for today. Oh, I know what I was going to use St. Stella on. We're going to do these birds so that they shimmer like they're really flying. So when the page is turned, you'll see this glimmer, and your eye might think, oh, there's movement there. And they're all going in the same direction, thankfully. I think they are. Those ones look like they're going that way. It's hard to tell. Right. Okay. So there's our page. And I don't know if it's picking up the light on all those gems and the glittery bit. And it's just going to go on our very front page. So I hope you really enjoyed today's little craft along in our glue book. And I do hope you stay safe and well until we meet again. Bye for now.